bedrooms. Dwarves like having bedrooms, especially nice bedrooms. Dwarves are very easily impressed by nice things, generally. Like, if you have a nice dining room, then that just makes everyone happy all the time. Unless they have a private dining room, in which case they will never be happy with how nice it is. Should probably give this guy his office back. Let's see. Bookkeeper. Are you happy with that? Yes, you are. All right. And we've got that poet is smoothing the stone now, which increases the value of it, which is very nice. And I think I said this before, but I found that 4x4 rooms are a pretty good size for getting it to the value that nobles require most of the time. You don't have to have super nice things. You might have to add some decorations if you don't have particularly nice things, but it's generally pretty decent. Looks like the hospital's almost done getting cleared out. Bauxite is interesting. So bauxite, and I'm probably saying that wrong, but it's just a regular stone. You can't like smelt it into anything, but it is magma safe, which means that its melting point is above the temperature that lava is, which is very important if you're building near or on top of lava, because if you use non-magma safe stones, then they will melt, and that will be bad. All right, so I hit H for hospital. Hospital. Does anyone say hospital? That doesn't even sound like a British thing. Anyway, H for hospital, capital H to look at the info, and you can tell them how many things to have on hand at any given time. There was a bug for a long time, actually, where if you had any amount of thread that was supposed to be there, the doors would gather all of the thread. They would not stop when they hit the number. They would just keep going. So that was fun, because you had to like kind of set aside thread for the hospital to use, or set it to get collected and then watch them and like tell them to not have any, and then they'll just kind of leave it in there, and it's just all... It was good times. Fun bugs. Dwarf Fortress has the best bugs. Oh, some people are claiming rooms up here, it looks like. And you can see now it says current owner, and these two are married, so they are sharing a room. Looks like a lot of my dwarves are married, actually. And dwarves will claim a room when they go to sleep. If there's an available room, they will sleep in it and claim it as theirs, basically. And you can also, when you are making rooms, if there's a door planned to be there and it's not there yet, the game will still respect that there is going to be a door there eventually. Although obviously you can't set it as internal in that case, but I guess you would make the room before you set the door to go in if you were doing it that way. Where do I have reports? It's probably just the keys. Ooh, Wolverine. Wolverine's berserking is... Oh, it's gone now, I guess. Oh, no, it died. Alright, the hunter was probably fighting it. There is a berserking mechanic in the combat of this game, and animals like wolverines and badgers take full advantage of it. So that's fun. Alright, this is actually starting to look like a fort of some kind. And so I think now I want to make stuff for the hospital, which is going to be at the Masons. I'm going to hit H for coffers. And coffers are stone chests, more or less. They are storage containers. And so if a room or a noble or something requires storage, you can make coffers. The wood equivalent is chests, I believe. Yeah, wooden chests. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm going to make a couple buckets too, because I know the hospital will want some buckets. And then beds, more beds. You can always use more beds. I want some for the hospital anyway. And then we want a table. And we want another table because you use mechanisms and a table to make a traction bench, and doctors need those to do particular things. I'm not familiar with the exact idea of a traction bench. I believe the idea is that you can restrain people with it, more or less, and you use that for Some stuff I'm really not familiar with the actual medical idea of a traction bench, but the dwarves need it to deal with certain things, and they use the regular table for, you know, surgery and stuff. But if a dwarf gets an injury, they will go and rest it in the hospital, unless it's not a very big injury, in which case you still want them to go to the hospital, but sometimes they don't. Oh, an animal just grew up. Very nice. Guess I actually have enough yaks to be farming them. Let's see, what are my soldiers doing? Yeah, they're still doing dodging. That's good. Dodging is very good. He's an adequate dodger already. How about that? Was he that before, or has he learned that? I don't know. Ah, okay. I don't think this is one of the ones I brought because he's not a teacher or student. But he's already a novice dodger, which is good. Dodging is one of the main ways you don't die in Dwarf Fortress. That and having attacks glance off of your armor. And Dwarf Fortress is really interesting, actually, when it comes to combat in that sense, because the game actually knows how hard all the materials are. And paste and slurry. I'm going to go ahead and cue those up. So, like, if you hit something made out of a metal that is stronger than it, then that is a case where, assuming the person's strength is high enough, they can break through it. So, like, when something hits something else, the game actually looks at, like, the physical force behind it and what the materials are and stuff like that. It's very cool. It's a very neat simulation. Let's see if there's any animals we can milk or shear. Shearing, if there's can you shear yaks? I can't remember. But that's like, you know, you make thread out of the wool or hair, and then milking. Obviously, you get milk, which then you can make cheese out of. Ooh, winter has arrived. Let's see if I think I picked a warmer area, so I don't believe the wizard, ooh, that's me, the river will freeze. Oh, and it says there that Dusum has become an axe dwarf, so that means that he just rotated with someone, and now he's a soldier. And he is blue because he actually... Why is he blue? That's a good question. I think it's because he's an axe dwarf. When the dwarves, if we go here to the status screen, you can see over on the right the list of military dwarves, and depending on what weapon they use, they become different colors. So recruits are like dull gray, and then we have a spear dwarf and an axe dwarf. Spears are good because you can poke specific places with them, so it's really easy to hit critical organs to kill things with. Axes are good for chopping. You know, if you aim for limbs, they're good at chopping those off and stuff like that. Swords are nice and versatile because they can stab and slice, but they don't stab as good as spears do because they're shorter, I think. All the weapons are kind of good for different things. Like one thing that dwarves don't actually make, but you can get, I don't know if they'll actually use them either, is whips exist, and whips are actually kind of bad weapons, but they cause a lot of pain. And if something is in too much pain, it can pass out, so that kind of goes by that angle. That's something you see goblins using a lot, since they're kind of considered evil, I guess. I don't know if the one of the things in the civilization file for, and this is what describes what the kind of general beliefs of a civilization is, or a race is, and goblins are kind of, they tend to have unethical views about things because they're goblins, so I don't know if that has something to do with why they will use whips and other civilizations don't as much, but I don't know. You know, elves aren't really considered very evil, but they will participate in cannibalism under some circumstances. So I think they will participate in cannibalism if it's an enemy that they've killed, which, you know, so that's fun. And there's some seeds on the floor of my farm stockpile, which means I need more bags, but I don't have my leather or cloth making industries up yet, so I suppose I will start on those. Why does that have gems in it? Are those not gems? What are those? Oh, those are there already. Alright. Dur. Let's see. I guess I'll put those over to the right. I think I'm gonna make... This is how I like to do... I like to have a larger storage area for like furniture and weapons and armor and like a bunch of other junk that doesn't really have a place to go. And I like to put... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like to put my jeweler shop in there for reasons I will explain. But basically it's because the jeweler shop like puts... They what's the word? There's a word for it that I'm forgetting, but they put the gems on things that are already finished, so it makes sense to me to put them near the stockpile of finished things. I should be careful while I talk and designate mining. Let's see, the cloth has 3 shops. The clothier shop, the loom, and the dyer's shop, and the leather worker has 2. The leather worker shop and the tannery. Let's see, where's the hospital? Is right down there. I guess I'll put in my soaping stuff down here since I'm starting to get paste and whatnot. And that takes, let's see, soap maker shop and lye maker shop, I believe. And if you think it's crazy that I have all of these industries completely memorized, then it's just because the explanation is just that I've played this game so much that I just have all of these processes down by heart. You know, within the first couple of years of playing, there was a lot of, especially with things like soap making, which is kind of complicated, there was a lot of having to look it up on the wiki every time I want to set it up because I forget what things you need exactly. So the wiki is your friend. It's very nice. And the only reason I don't use it is because I have used it. And like it should be completely apparent, there are a lot of little details that even I don't remember for one reason or another. Alright. And I suppose I will get some ash and charcoal going in my furnaces. Ash is used in a few different things, but I want it for soap, and charcoal is just what you use at other furnaces to heat them up. No plants, needs empty bag. Yeah, I need more empty bags. Let's see, let's make some more doors, and then I want more tables and chairs for my kitchen. Still smoothing stuff down there. Do I want to give my manager his own thing? What does he even need? Bookkeeper. Ugh. Alright. I can't remember if the manager needs the full suite of noble stuff or just like an office, but I think he might. So I'm going to go ahead and make one anyway. Ooh, my hunter's out of ammunition. Well, now that we have a bookkeeper, when you run out of ammunition, you can go over to your stocks. And one thing that happens is when a dwarf shoots ammunition, it gets forbidden automatically so that you don't have dwarves constantly running out to where the hunter is trying to pick up their bolts. Same goes with, you know, battle situations where you've got archers. I'm going to actually read this. Alright, ammunition. There we go. Steel bolts. So they are forbidden. That's why there's an F next to them. So I'm going to push F to unforbid those. And I'm going to go ahead and skim through here and see if there's anything else forbidden that I want. And a lot of these will be because something died. Stuff gets forbidden if it's on something that got killed. Which, again, is to keep your dwarves from running outside in the middle of a battle and trying to take some socks for themselves. You never know. Since we haven't had any battles yet, that's not going to be too bad, but it's good to go through there once in a while and make sure you don't have anything forbidden that you want. What are those? Are those dogs? Woof. Yes. What is this? Alright. Nobody's taking care of that billy goat. Please go into the field. Right. Whew. Boy, I could really use more dwarves, especially a blacksmith. Or I guess weapon and armor smithing are separated, so, you know. I probably have some shells, so I will do crafts and decorating. You can make armor out of shells, certain armor, but it's about equivalent of like leather armor, which isn't very good. It's better than nothing, but not by much, so... I guess I'll put on Ivory Tooth, Horn, and Totem. All of these use kind of things you end up with from like butchery, generally. And totems are made from skulls, so that's just kind of like turning garbage into valuable things, more or less. Oh, and that spot's done. So that's just something once in a while I'll go through and assign those on repeat to try and get rid of all that stuff. Because it's useless otherwise. Alright, so we want a jeweler's workshop. We'll not put it over there. It's blocking stuff. The dark green X's means doors cannot pass through them, which is a little obnoxious to say the least with some of these, but I'm going to put it there anyway, even though it blocks a little bit, because they probably won't come in from that side. And then I'm going to put another Craft Dwarf's Workshop in here, because this is where I'm going to put a lot of the stuff I was just talking about, like teeth and bones and skulls and all that good stuff. So this is going to be a pretty big custom stockpile. I'm going to just get rid of everything so you can see everything I want. Alright, I want animals. I don't want food. I do want furniture and siege ammo. I don't want corpses, but I do want some refuse. Not corpses, not body parts, but I don't want the wool actually, but everything else I do want. I don't want that. I want ammo, coins, not bars, blocks, gems, finished goods, and this is going to be a lot of the crafts and junk like that. Leather, no. Weapons, yes. Armor, yes. And sheet, why not? I don't have anywhere else I'm going to put that. I think you actually make paper at a screw press, which I need to put in near my farms at some point. Which I think I can. I think it's just 2 mechanisms. So, and I just remembered I want them to have hair up here, because they actually spin the hair into thread up here in the farmer's workshop. Ah, there, I left a little space. So I believe the screw press, yes, it is in workshops. And it just takes 2 mechanisms. We'll have that. So we can start making paper. And once we do that, we can turn the paper into books. You have to turn the paper into something you can write on, and then you can turn that written on thing into a book, but that's a whole big process that you only really do if you have libraries, which I have not gotten to yet, obviously. Alright. Everything is chugging along nicely. Should probably put some traps in. I'm actually going to do something here and get rid of one of these walls. I think I'm going to do this one, and then I'm going to actually put a door in there and connect it to a lever so that I can leave it open most of the time, but then close it so that my doors don't have to walk past traps all the time, because I think you can have accidents with traps. I believe. I'm not 100%, but I'd like to avoid that if I can. So I'm going to remove that by designating remove construction, and then I'm going to build traps and levers, which is down here, or capital T. And we want a lever, and I want it to be inside my fort somewhere so that I don't lose access to it if I get attacked. Where do I want to put this? Maybe out here. I want it to be close enough that a dwarf can just kind of run over, and yeah, I'll put it up here because there'll probably be a lot of doors milling around up here. And then once that's done, I can put a door up there and link those, which is a fairly easy process. I'm starting to speed up a little bit now because I assume if you're watching this far, you either have a basic grasp of what's going on, or that you've played enough that you have a basic grasp of how to play this game. So I'm starting to multitask a little more and stop doing everything one little step at a time. But again, if anyone prefers I do it a different way, let me know. I'm very open to feedback. I would have also done a common thing that people doing Dwarf Fortress series will do, is they'll let people get dwarves named after them and stuff like that. And I would do that, but I don't really have a following or anything yet, so I don't think anyone would do that, which is why I didn't bother. But and you know, by the time this video gets enough views that somebody cares enough to suggest that, I feel like it will be long past the time where I would still be like able to have them participate. But either way, if that's something anybody's interested in and it's not like, you know, 6 months after this video has gone up, then go for it.